Hi Dollar Divas, welcome to Behind the Vanity. I'm Jessica. So today's video is going to be something a little bit different for me. I've actually been kind of wanting to do a video kind of like this for a little while. So I recently stumbled across a video from one of my favorite YouTubers, Kelly Gooch. She just recently posted this video and it's kind of an eyeshadow palette tag. And it was started by Samantha and Alli Glines here on YouTube. I will have Samantha and Alli's as well as Kelly's eyeshadow palette tag videos down below in the description box so you can check theirs out. But I did run across this through Kelly's channel and became aware of it and thought this would be so fun to do. So I did want to give credit where credit is due, that Samantha and Alli started this tag, and I just thought I would participate and make my own video. And basically what this video entails is there's several categories like smallest, biggest, most expensive, favorite, different categories, and we just are supposed to choose what palette fits the category. So I thought that this was really just very fun, a great way to showcase some of our favorite palettes or tell a story behind some of the palettes we have. So if that sounds good to you, keep watching. So again, this is an eyeshadow palette tag video. I'm kind of new to some of the lingo that goes around with social media and YouTube. So I was not actually tagged to do this. I just thought I would do it. And again, it was started by Samantha and Alli Glines, and I came across this particular idea through Kelly's channel, and I think she is friends with both of those ladies. And I will have all their videos that they did linked below. So yes, I just thought I would do my own. So basically, like I said, there's about, I don't know, 13 or so categories. And we're supposed to find palettes in our collection that fit, that kind of answer the question, that kind of fits the category. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get started. So anything that has 5 colors or more, I'm considering a palette. So the first category is, what is my newest palette? My newest palette is the Profusion Mirage, and I have not yet used it or swatched it. This has actually been around for a while. I think Kelly has this in her video, and I actually just stumbled across this last week. So apparently it is $16 and I got it for $7.99. So yes, this is definitely my newest palette and I have not even used it yet. So next category is, what is my oldest palette? And so my oldest palette is the original Naked palette. This one's an old one. It's not one of the ones from a couple years ago or 3 or 4 years ago. It's older than that. I never use it. I honestly particularly do not care for it. And I probably have had this for about like 9 years or so. Like I said, I don't hardly ever use it. So yes, definitely my oldest palette. So the next question is, what is my most expensive palette? And there were a couple that I knew were right around the same price. So I had to go on the internet and kind of double check and make sure to the dollar how much I spent. And I'm a little surprised by this, but it seems to be the Naked Heat palette. This is $54, whereas some of the other Naked palettes are like $48 or $49. So yeah, this one is definitely my most expensive, and I've used it on my channel before, and I love this palette. It took me a while, like it was one of those palettes I had to have, and then I bought it and it kind of sat forever, and I recently kind of just rediscovered this kind of last year. I think I bought it the year before last, and I really kind of rediscovered it last year. So yes, this is my most expensive. Next question is, what is my most affordable palette? It's not the simplest of answers, but it's not the most complicated either. So of course, I do a lot of Dollar Tree makeup oriented videos. If you're interested in that playlist at all, I will have that linked below in the description box. So of course, anything I've gotten at the Dollar Tree, and of course they're all $1. So you know, you get your LA colors, but this one here was kind of a gem that I found pretty recently. Dollar Tree has been carrying a lot of hard candy makeup, and I stumbled across this little 10-pan eyeshadow palette from Hard Candy. This is in Green with Envy. I don't know the exact price that it goes for, but it's at least at least $5 to $10, I would imagine. So that was a great deal. And then you have these little LA Colors palettes. This is in Calm, this is in Beauty. They're just little 6-pan eyeshadow palettes that I found last year. And of course, we've seen all these little palettes that LA Colors has. So of course, those are the most affordable. But if I'm not doing Dollar Tree, I do have another answer to this, and I will explain why. So I was in TJ Maxx a couple months back, kind of before all this stuff started happening, and I wanted a palette with like some more color in it, and I stumbled across the It's My Ray Ray palette. And it really spoke to me because it has the same shades on the top as it does in the middle, but the middle is shimmery and the bottom is matte, and I really liked that. And then the top is kind of neutral. So I just bought it thinking it was just something that you find at TJ Maxx. I thought the name sounded a little familiar, the BH Cosmetics. I've never bought BH Cosmetics before. So I looked on Ulta's website, and it's like a $17, $18 palette. And I paid like $5.99. Yeah, so, and it was still, as of like a month ago, it was still up on their website. So, and it was unswatched. It was in like perfect condition. It performs wonderfully. So, and I love that it has color, but it also has neutrals. I'm very pleasantly surprised by how wearable this palette is. And you can do an everyday look, or you can do something really vibrant. So this is, I think, like the best overall value, and definitely the most affordable outside of the Dollar Tree stuff. And I think it would even be a good deal at the original price point. So of course, seeing it in TJ Maxx made it extra affordable, for sure. So if I just needed to pick one palette to use every day, hands down for me is the Urban Decay Naked Honey. I've featured this a lot on my channel, but it really is a very versatile palette. It's got kind of a one-story kind of a thing going on, but you really can get like a very glam look, but you really can get just a very neutral look as well. And with the golds and stuff like that, it can really pop. So yes, this would be the palette. If I just needed a palette for like every single day, this would definitely be the one. So for most colorful palette, there's two in this category. The first being, of course, the Birds of Paradise. I've got a few colorful palettes, you know, that like the It's My Ray Ray and the Mirage palette, but they also have neutrals in them. But this Birds of Paradise palette, it is gorgeous. Like I said, it's what I'm wearing now. It doesn't contain like a single neutral, really, to speak of. I mean, other than like white, but it's all color. So this is by far, it's at least like the most colorful palette I've ever seen, especially one being this big with this many shades to choose from. So definitely the Makeup Revolution Birds of Paradise palette. And I also had to include it because it's in my collection and it has more than 4 pans, is the NYX Ultimate Edit Petite. This is in Brights. And of course there's no neutrals. These two are definitely my most colorful. So my smallest palette, this is kind of amazing, I think, personally. So it is from the Dollar Tree, so it is $1. I should have had it in the shot with all the affordable palettes, but I forgot to put it in there, to be honest. But yes, it is $1, and it has 6 pans in it, oddly enough, and it is by far the smallest palette. It is the LA Colors Midnight Tease palette. And this little case really for $1 is really cute. It comes with a little mirror, and it's got 6 colors in it. And it is just really, really, really little. So, I mean, just it literally fits in the palm of my hand. I have small hands. So yeah, that is definitely the smallest palette that I own. So for the biggest palette, it is definitely, for me, the Mirage palette. I don't know of any palettes that are any bigger than this. I know there are some, but this one is definitely huge. It will not be going on vacation or anything like that, or going in a makeup bag or a bag of any kind. So yes, this is definitely the biggest palette I own. So my palette with the best memory attached to it is actually a tie between 2. So the first one is actually my Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. I bought this last summer, well after it came out. I'm always like behind. So a little background, my work is very seasonal, and so I make the majority of my money like certain times of the year. And the summer is a big time for me. So it was in the middle of the summer. I was making good money. It was getting ready to drop off. And so I had been eyeing this like forever. So my husband and I were in Sephora, and I kept looking at it, and I'd done that a million times before in the store, all different trips. And he was like, well, you should buy it. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I just don't know. And I finally just had that thought that, if I don't buy it now, when am I going to buy it? So I just went ahead and picked it up. And while we were in the store, my husband walked past one of those screens that like puts the makeup on you. And he walked by and looked at it, and it had put like a full face of makeup on him. And he's a grown man. I mean, I kid you not. If you knew him and saw him, it would be even more funny. But yeah, he is a grown man, and he was in Sephora, and that machine, that screen, put a full face of fabulous makeup on him. So it was funny. So, and then the second palette is the Naked Honey. And this has a good memory attached to it because my mom actually bought this for my birthday. And she asked me what I wanted, and I'd been eyeing this, but I felt bad for her to buy me such like an expensive thing, but she insisted. So she said, let's go to Ulta and you buy whatever you want. So we went to Ulta. I can never get my mother to come to Ulta with me, but she came to buy me something for my birthday, and I picked this out, and I felt so terrible because like my mom, she works hourly, and I was thinking like how many hours my mom like had to work to buy me this palette, but she wanted to so bad, so I could not take away her blessing. But yeah, my mom came to Ulta with me, and she never does that. May never do it again. Maybe my birthday this year. So I don't know. We'll have to just see. But yeah, that was fun. So yeah, these have the best memories for sure. So for a product that I own that I think is worth the hype is the Urban Decay Naked Honey. I mean, I know this is a little bit of a repeat, but it really is. I just did a Makeup Basket Monday a couple weeks ago with this, and I do try to like focus on like really affordable makeup, especially like Dollar Tree items, but I do feel that if you do want to get your feet wet with a high-end palette, you don't know where to start, you want to make sure you do get something really good for your money, this is fabulous. The quality, the use you can get out of it, this I feel is worth any bit of hype that it has gotten. I don't feel like it's gotten like an incredible amount of hype compared to like other things, but yeah, this would definitely be worth the purchase. Definitely anything you've heard good about it, I feel strongly about. So yeah, Naked Honey. So for me, and this might be very, very unpopular, a product that I feel is not worth the hype, even though it revolutionized the makeup industry. For me, I've never liked the original Naked palette as much as I've liked the idea of the original Naked palette. And I have a very unpopular opinion as well. The Naked Reloaded also is not my favorite palette. It's a little bit disappointing to me, but I do like it better than this. And I know that's not a popular opinion at all. Usually a lot of people feel they should have just never gotten rid of this and never came out with the Reloaded. And now that I've gotten to like really like Urban Decay's brushes that come in their palettes, I hate that the Reloaded didn't come with a brush because I got one for the Honey and the Heat palette, and I've lost track of the one that came with this. But for me, this is definitely, for me personally, I feel is not worth the hype. But I do give it much respect. I do give this palette much respect for what it has done for the makeup industry, but I do feel the product itself is not worth the hype. So my favorite eye palette from my favorite brand, again, I'm just gonna kind of coast right past this one. It's gonna be the Naked Honey because I have over the years favored Urban Decay, and as I've branched out into makeup, I've found a lot of other brands, and I'm branching out a little bit more. But yeah, definitely my favorite brand, high-end brand, has been Urban Decay, and from that line, the Honey, again, makes the cut. So for the category of my most used palette, I was gonna pick two, but I narrowed it down to just one, and only because I can't argue with the empty pans in this palette. And it only got used so much because I was really trying to pan it at the end of last year, and I was wearing it for work. I work in show business and I was able to wear it on the stage. Other than that, it's not very wearable outside of the stage. But it is the Sephora Smoky Eye Palette. It has like eyelash glue on the top of it because I put my eyelashes on top of it. But I got this a long time ago. It's not my oldest, but I got it a while back at Sephora. It came with a couple brushes that I do still have. And you can see I've panned most of the top. I just have a little bit of these two colors. And I've almost panned that, and then I've hit pan on these two colors. And so I don't love this palette. I really just kind of want to throw it away, to be honest. So I don't know what's going to happen with it for the future. I don't really see myself using it anymore. But it was in a project pan, and you can't argue with the fact I've hit pans. So this is definitely my most used because I really did dig into this one heavily at the end of last year, the Sephora Smoky Eye Palette. So I created like an extra category. I don't know if that's like bad etiquette or not, but I just couldn't help it. It just like popped into my head. So the final category that I made up is what I feel the most unique color story is. And it's kind of crazy because all the palettes that I have that have like 12, 18 or more shades, like that Mirage palette, I feel the one with the most unique color story as a whole is this collab palette. This is in Sunset Dreams. I bought this at Sally's. And I think to have 8 colors, the 8 colors that they have in this palette, I think tell the most unique color story. They're a little bit brighter than some of the It's My Ray Ray colors, but it's got the neutrals, and then it's got like a duochrome, it's got shimmers. I think this is just, and that's why I bought this palette. I could not turn away from it. I just thought this color story, so unique, just so eye-popping. And again, it is also a palette that you can get a very neutral look out of. You can get kind of a crazy look out of. So it is a very, to be an 8-pan palette with as many brights and shimmers as this does, this is definitely a unique color story and really very, very wearable. And the quality is really good too. So I hope you've enjoyed this different video, and this eyeshadow palette tag was just such a great way to kind of see how I feel about some different palettes and kind of give a rundown of the different categories and what I would put, you know, in each category. So it's been fun for me. I hope it's been fun for you too. And if you liked this video, please do me a big favor by hitting that like button. And if you would like to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. That way you don't miss an upload. And comment. Let me know if you agree with some of my choices. If you don't, this is just such a fun conversation starter, I feel. And be sure to check out those videos that I have linked below that I mentioned, as well as Samantha, Alli, and Kelly's videos and their channels as well. And I'll have my Instagram link. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.